underground, 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 underground,
Greetings, surface dwellers. My name is Michael, and these are my chthonic musings. We are still in the midst of RPG a Day 2025, a project to get people talking in a positive way about role-playing games. And so, in order to continue in this, I've decided to double up on prompts. And so let's see which two prompts we have for today. And let's go. All right, my surface dwelling friends. Today we are moving on to the next two prompts in RPG a Day 2025. And those are 18 Sign and 19 Destiny. And so today we're going to also, take a step back, and instead of talking of in-game terms, we'll be talking about the state of role-playing itself, the gaming industry, and the people participating in RPGs, and we'll be discussing our own destiny. Where are we going, and what's going to determine which way we go in this hobby of ours, and what will be the signs to us that we're going in the right direction or the wrong direction. Now, I haven't in any of my videos to date delved into what one might call, drama, drama in our gaming community or industry or what have you. And I certainly don't plan on making a habit of it. But I'm gonna touch on this just because I think it relates to a broader, more universal topic that I'll call distractions. There was a recent announcement by Wizards of the Coast about it might have even been yesterday, as of the time I'm recording this. But they talked about a number of different Dungeons and Dragons products, and none of them were really like solid products. Like saying, okay, here's a brand new campaign setting we're launching, and this, we're setting the direction of some sort of idea or concept or anything. It was more like, novelty products. We'd say like a coloring book of dragons and some journals that you could, keep notes in about what's happening in your campaigns, both for the players and the dungeon master. And one of the last ones, which I think is scheduled to launch in 2026 or something, was a book about crocheting patterns for, various D&D intellectual property, like, owlbears and mimics and gelatinous cubes. And, certainly it's a little bizarre, but it certainly, it got quite a reaction, from people. And, I'd just like to talk about it a little bit. Because in some ways it's reminiscent of, old TSR history, the original publishers of Dungeons and Dragons, where there was a company that was, part of TSR called Greenfield Needlewomen, which was because of, nepotism inside of TSR, and some of the Bloom family members were into this kind of, needlework craft, and got funding through the company, and they actually had products. And it's my understanding that like they were actually at like TSR booths within Gen Cons in the past, and this was like touted as like one of the revenue streams for TSR, which is a bit bizarre. It's my understanding, though, that this crochet book is, kind of as head-scratching as it might be. I think it's just a licensing agreement, and for the most part, it's Penguin Random House and this author, Stacy King. It's really their project, and Wizards of the Coast has just licensed out the Dungeons and Dragons IP for them to use. It's really not a big deal. It's funny as it might be, and more power to the Stacy King, and if she enjoys it, and there are other people that enjoy it, and if it's a flop, I think it's really Penguin Random House's problem. So it's not something we need to be concerned with. Unlike the other, TSR debacle back in the day, that actually cost the company that was making, the games that we were playing, and it cost them money, and therefore, layoffs and restructuring of the company. I mean that was a real debacle. This really doesn't have much to do with us anymore. It's not going to destroy role playing, any more than the Woobles Lord of the Rings set, where for crocheting, Balrogs and Gandalf and Golems is going to destroy Lord of the Rings. It's just, if it's something people enjoy, that's great. And if it's not your thing, it's not your thing. Now, I would like to talk about something that does concern me, much more than just distractions, and that is disconnection. Things that disconnect us from our other players, things that disconnect us from the game. Here I'm showing some pictures, specifically about technology, and that can be one thing. Not really the technology, but the use of the technology can be one thing that can disconnect us. But sometimes, like, the motives of our game publishers can be a little suspect. Especially in the case of, let's say, I don't know, maybe maximizing monetization of the player base. They can introduce, certain things that are not necessarily conducive to the health of the game. Anything that says, you must play inside of this system the way that we want you to play, and we can pull the plug on you at any point in time, and you are left with nothing. You will own nothing, and you'll be happy. That should be a red flag. This hobby is basically built by hackers for hackers, people that are do-it-yourself. Try to understand what makes our games tick, and experiment with it, and replicate what works and discard what doesn't. And that's, to me, a healthy gaming system and a healthy gaming community. And also with regard to our other players, sometimes I think we get caught up in different discussions that artificially separate us, into, I don't know, like, the science nerds and the theater kids, or what have you. Divisions that don't necessarily need to be. maybe we have different preferences, but maybe we can learn a little bit from each other and be a little bit more flexible sometimes, and maybe we'll be the better off for it. All right, folks. So I think it's time to talk about also some positive things in our hobby, things that are going on, and maybe able to keep our hobby, healthy, vibrant, and maybe even growing. First off, there are a lot of people publishing material, adventures or subsystems or even, their own games. And that's pretty exciting. And in some cases, it could be an actual RPG publisher, like Free League or Chaosium or, Troll Lord Games. But there's also a lot of material just being, done part-time by people. And sometimes it's in support of games that are being put out by publishers. So let's say, for example, you've got Shadow Dark from Arcane Library, but you have a number of people, people like Chubby Funster and many others that are putting out their own material that kind of supports that, or sometimes stands alone beside it as its own game, but inspired by the original publisher's game. In addition, we have quite a number of conventions, gaming conventions, and I'm particularly thinking of small gaming conventions. So we still have the Gen Cons and other let's say medium size Gary Con and Dave Con and Gamehole Con and such. But here in my local area on the East Coast, we've got ShireCon. I attended for the first time this year a very local convention called AutoCon, but even that reached over 100 people this year, which was growth from prior years. There's also, I think, another local con that is being revived after many years of being dormant. So that's interesting, and they're also in New York, kind of central New York. I think that's what it was called, Central New York Gaming Convention, or something close to that at least, which started up this year, was its first year, and from all accounts, it was a tremendous success. So it takes a lot of work, and give thanks to all those people that organize and support these conventions. But it's a good sign for us that these are happening, because the convention scene is a great place to be able to just share information, share our enthusiasm for these games, but also to try new games. Because there's no commitment beyond the one session that you're playing. And we also get to meet and interact with vendors, if there are vendors, and typically in most conventions there are vendors as well as gaming going on. Let's see, for communication, there's there's a lot of Discord servers going on, and people with YouTube channels, talking about various things and keeping us, abreast of what's going on, doing reviews for games. Those are very useful, to know what's coming out, and also highlighting maybe Kickstarters that are coming up or other projects that are in the works. And beyond that, I'll also, mention specifically, there's a couple of interesting channels that are not promoting games themselves, but are related to gaming and you gamers. And I'll mention specifically Eric Steiner and his Tenkar's Tavern channel, and his wife Rachel. They do I think it's a weekly show about gamers' health. And that's a good topic to be discussing. And how do we stay healthy for our own sakes and our families, but also you can't stay gaming if you're in the hospital or worse. So staying healthy is a very very important thing. And I just recently also heard that Luke Gygax is in the midst of doing or is starting up something, a Body by Gygax, which is also, from what he explained, it's just like people supporting each other. It's not really. He said he's not trained to to be a fitness coach or anything like that, nor would he want to. But just to get people talking about the subject, kind of a support group kind of thing, and I think he was also talking about like maybe an app for gamifying and just keeping people, I don't want to say motivated to keep themselves healthy and to concentrate on that and feel good about it. So, all in all, I'd say I'm pretty optimistic about the destiny of our hobby. And sure, it takes some effort, and there's always room for improvement. But as long as we're careful, corporations and some people in the C-suite of some business, they're not going to ruin our hobby. It's in our own hands, and it always has been. And so, my surface-dwelling friends, may your successes be many and your failures be memorable.